Afternoon, everybody. It's Jeff from Rust Bucket Valley Garage. Last night, if you watched the video, we removed the upper A frame from this 1-ton GMC. We got the bolts back in here, and they're just finger tight. And the bolt right here is wrench tight. So we're ready to take and unload the big spring that is holding in the lower A-frame. So while everything was together, we took this bolt off, but we didn't do that until we did two things. First thing we did is we put a jack underneath here and we put cribbing under here to take and keep the van up. Okay, it is higher than this jack that is supporting the lower A-frame right here, and we have the pad of the jack right under this cup where the spring takes and goes into. So what we want to do is we want to take and stand to the front of the vehicle, and we want to take and lower it down just a little bit and see if this joint right here will take and pull apart. And if it doesn't, we can take and just give it a little tap. And what you ideally want it to do is you want this lower A-frame to swing down straight. Okay, and then you'll be able to take and unload the spring, and you'll be able to get the spring out. Also, that is the installation position for the new piece. It makes it easier to take and get in that way, and it also keeps you out of the way of the spring flying out and hurting you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to let this jack down just a little bit, and we'll see if this this joint here comes apart. If it doesn't, we'll give it just a little tap. So the next step, you'll see this will be straight down and the spring will be unloaded. You must stand to the side when you're doing this. You don't want to be anywhere in this area here, because if the spring was to fly, that's exactly where it would go. Okay, we'll be back with you when we get that done. Okay, so this is ready to come down. Move very slowly. So this is ideally what you want to happen. Okay, so you want to take and let the A-frame down, and you want the spring to release its tension, and you should be able to take it out. Okay, on the way down, the edge right here did get caught on the backing plate, so we had to apply a little pry bar. So we did that and pop right down, but we were in a safe area, so no problem. And to take and put everything back together, just reverse the procedure. So I'll show you a little bit of that. All right, so we got everything out. We have the spring out. We have the lower A that is defective, and we have the new A that goes in. Basically, there's only one trick to take and getting everything to take and fit up right. You'll notice right here there is a detent. Okay, and in the new one there is a detent right here. Okay, and there is the end of the spring. The end of the spring right here goes in that detent right there. Okay, and in the new one it has to take and go in the detent. Okay, if you don't get that in the proper place, the shock won't go in. Okay, so because the thing is, the Bilstein shocks, not a sponsor, that this customer has ordered for this job, yeah, they are just this diameter right here. So they will not go in if you take and misalign the spring. The spring has to be all the way back against this perch, and if the end of the spring is up on top of here and it's not down in its little nest right here, then you're going to have a problem. All right, so here we are. We have the lower A installed into the frame, and we just have the 2 bolts on there finger tight. Okay, we don't want anything backing out, so that's pretty good. We can tighten everything up later because there's plenty of access. This is just prior to loading the spring. We've installed the bump stop back on there. So, as a matter of fact, that's upside down, unfortunately. So let's get that turned around. Okay, here we go. We got the bump stop on there correctly. You have to excuse me, first day on the job and everything. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to take and load the spring in there and make sure we take and line up the end of the spring into point, and we'll stick it back up in here, and we'll set the jack up underneath it. You notice how this goes all the way down. It is straight down from the position. Okay, that is the position that you need to reload that spring. Okay, I haven't really seen any spring compressors for these heavy springs. I was looking online the other night. There was one for $2,500, and for one job, no, I don't think so. And AutoZone, not a sponsor, does not have a spring compressor for 1-ton springs. Okay, so we'll have to take and do it this way. So let me get the spring loaded up, and I'll show you how we put the tension back on it. All right, so you got the jack set up under where the Zerk fitting is, but you haven't put the Zerk fitting in yet, because if you lift it up with the Zerk fitting on the jack, you're going to wreck it. So we have the spring loaded in there. It's indexed properly. We have a bar that is holding the disc brake assembly back a little bit, holding it out of the way. So what we have to do is we have to line this up with this. Okay, so it's got to go up, I don't know, about 7 inches, I guess. So we'll go ahead and we'll stand in front of the vehicle at a safe distance, and then we will jack up the lower A into the knuckle. All right, so we have the lower A in place with the spring compressed. We have a castle nut on here, and it is just finger tight right now. We have the castle nut on the top. Hasn't got a cotter pin in it yet, but we'll go in the shop and we'll get some. So the next couple of things to do will be to put the holder on for the brake line. This goes back here. It's 2 bolts going there. We'll put the tie rod end back on. We'll put the sway bar links in. We'll put the Zerk fitting in the bottom. We'll check all of our torque on everything. We still got to tighten these bolts up here and these bolts under here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the way to decompress and compress an A-frame spring, and no mechanics were hurt or injured during this procedure. Total time of the job about 1.5 hours. So the other one out to this one back in. Okay, customer supplied the parts. So I think we're in good shape. It's going to be a good day. We'll have this one done and out of here today. We'll hit the Zerk settings on both sides with a grease gun before we leave, and we'll put some other coating on the frame, and be good for another 100,000 miles. Anyway, hope I've helped you out a little bit. Please use extreme caution when you're doing this operation. Be safe, always. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And if you hit notification, you will be the first to know when we do something new. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.